So this is the brief kind of housekeeping things in collaborate setting. I think many of you already familiar with this collaborate conferencing, but just to remind you, here's the session menu. You can click on it. I just clicked on it and clicked the recording button here. And then if you just click on your profile, picture in the chevron mark in here, you can also participate, showing agree, disagree, happy, unhappy, something like that. And then please turn off your microphone and then also the video. And if you can raise your hand if you have any questions. We are not gonna using any polling for this session. And then next, if you click chat box and here, you can participate in while we are presenting. You can ask a question. We are 3 presenters today, and one person present. The other 2 presenters will facilitate a chat answering the question. If you click on the participants, you will see we have 33 participants in this session now, and then you will see who are there. Shall we a little bit practice clicking on the happy face, clicking on the profile picture, and then show some happy face? Good, excellent. If you click on this participants button, then you will see how many people actually showed happy face. All seems to be all happy. Now you click on go back to chat and then participate in chat. Okay, Elisa just posted a link to ask you your check-in attendance form. Please fill it out. And then there's a share content button, and make sure clicking on the setting and then change your notification setting. You can just mute the sound, something like that. Okay, now we can start. Okay, I'm Namsuk Jang, and then here are 2 of my colleagues, Po-Sung Kim and Hailan Chen. We are learning designers in CTLT. We are very happy to offer this session, and thank you very much for joining this session. We hope our session can be helpful, and then we are letting you know our learning designers is just ready to help you. Okay, today's topic is consider what we need to consider the redesigning your course, moving your course from face-to-face to remote teaching. Many of you are a little bit nervous. Maybe some of you are pretty confident, but some of you are not feeling confident, and they don't know how to start, where to start for the summer session or the September course. So we hope we are showing some of the course examples. Recently, we moved from face-to-face to online, and then give you some ideas maybe you can adopt and customize for your own course context. So I'm gonna showcase some redesigning content presentation, and then Bo-Sung will show examples moving some face-to-face activities to online setting, and then finally the Hailan will show how to redesign assessment and assignments. So far, it's good. Am I clear? Could you show your agree button if you are following me and it's not too fast and not too slow? Excellent. Okay, the consideration is for redesigning your face-to-face course to online. Previously, if you are offering the face-to-face in-class course, then you don't need to really worry about how to design in Canvas. Many of you actually could use as a resource page in Canvas. Okay, there's files in Canvas. And even you don't have to really worry about announcements or design, make it beautiful, right? Now there's a lot of limitations, so you won't be able to really communicate in the same way as you did previously. So you need to think about how to make it effective and efficient course for remote teaching. So if you are thinking of moving everything, assuming that I'm moving, I actually moved last month, and then when I tried to move everything, I couldn't give up anything. So I started, okay, how can I trash some of these things and then carry the core things that I really use, and then important thing. I couldn't make a decision to trash. Everything seems to be good and is still usable. So the other way around, I thought, what are the important things I need to really pack and move? So I sold them the key things and then considered the rest of the things later on. It was much easier. I recommend the same way. Look into your course. What are the key things I need to really move to achieve learning outcomes in my course? So, and then you need to consider students' commitment time workload and also your workload. In a previous morning session that I presented with Highland, some of the instructor asked how many hours is actually appropriate and recommended for my three credit course. How many hours do I ask them to commit? So Highland and I recommended 9 to 12 hours. You do not want it to really overwhelm and stress the add the workload when you move your face-to-face course to online. So, and then you need to consider the time zone and technical issues, and then your comfortable level with technology as well. So, and look at your course. If it's what is the key point? Is it lecture based? Is more activities, group teamwork things more important? Those kind of key factors I would recommend to look into, tackle down from there. Today's session is not actually how to do it step by, okay, click this button to record, click the next, you can just add content. You can go to keepteaching.ubc.ca, how to use Canvas, how to use Cultura, how to use Collaborate, those kind of step by step with nice screenshot images. You can take a look at it. Today's session is more about what we did, why we did that way, and how, in what way we could do that. An example. This is the option for presenting your lecture and content. Live lecture option in Canvas is available through this Collaborate Ultra as we are doing right now. And actually, it is integrated tool. So we recommend, or learning designers recommend to use Collaborate Ultra. But if your course, to have a large class with more than 250 students, then you would consider Zoom. And then there's even though you prefer to offer the live lecture using Collaborate and Zoom, you don't, maybe if you offer the 3-hour lecture in classroom, I don't think it will be possible, keeping 3 hours students' attention in a sitting in the same spot. So you may need to consider what to move to a synchronous way, what kind of the activities and assignments move to, a time release, a free time, asynchronous way. That kind of redesign need to think about. That activity design, assessment design will show the examples from the Bosong and Highland. And basically what I show as an example option is the asynchronous way. You can simply share in a module space in Canvas, Word file or PowerPoint file, save as PDF. And then the students, whenever they have time, they can go over and then do some of the activities. This is a very traditional, basic, old school online distance education format. But it's easily be bored. You need to show some teacher presence, teaching presence, right? So PowerPoint with audio recording, it's the very simple way. If you wanted to just add your voice, it's the basic steps you can start from. If you are not comfortable even with Camtasia and you don't know how to desktop audio production at all, you can start from PowerPoint audio recording. And actually it quite worked in some of the courses, and the student liked it. And then the next step could be talking head and using Camtasia. And actually, I'm letting you know the PowerPoint or voiceover is converted as exported as video file. You can upload it through Kaltura. This is example one, the course from History 101. The students was up to 30, so it's a small class. And then 1.5 hour, 2 classes per week. It just happened in right before the corona pandemic lockdown. So the instructor was not prepared at all do any video recording, or even were not comfortable offering the Collaborate or Zoom live lecture. So during the weekend, over the weekend, she decided to record her voice in the PowerPoint and then export it in MP4 file and uploaded it. Students could watch the video and then attach the PowerPoint in here. So they could just download the file, and they appreciated her voice. Actually, her voice was beautiful, and she was very good at recording the audio. So it was very successful. It was displayed like this. When they click on the button, and then the audio plays. The other course example was the occupational therapist course, graduate course. This is also the small course, about 30 students. But basically, this course is a very team-based activity, small group activity-based course. So instructor just didn't know how to convert this face-to-face course. So decide to ask the students what would be the most their concerns, and then how what the expectation from the instructor. So is the instructor, the student's concern was about basically how to connect with group members, and then how to connect with get a feedback from the instructor. And then the value they would appreciate was basically was a group activity. So she decided to, at first she was thinking of offering the live lecture through Collaborate or Zoom. But after they getting the student feedback from the survey, she decided to move all the content asynchronous way. So I helped her to redesign the activities, and then quiz and even group activities. We all moved the activities into a synchronous way. Instead, she decided to use her lecture time, 3-hour lecture time, divided into 6 6 groups, and then have 30 minutes group support. So while they are doing the all the asynchronous activity, and then quizzes, and hearing the video lecture, listening to the video lecture, and then they came to the live group session to ask and discuss with the instructor, and it worked quite well. And then third option here I'm gonna show you is actually this is not a Canvas integrated tool. It's an external tool. So maybe many of you think it's not available, or it's not a consideration for you to transferring your lecture or content. But some of the course instructors really appreciated the visual interface, and then the interactivity using this tool. It's the web development tool that I used is the Articulate 360, because it's not a free tool. So just to take a look at it, and then especially for this pandemic season, 60 days free trial. So maybe you can just take a look at it. You look at it and then consider it as an option later on. The way this, once you develop the course using the RISE, and there's a scope menu in here in Canvas. You can activate the menu in the navigation bar, and then upload the SCOM file exported from the RISE site. Then it will be displayed in assignments page. So when the students click, I displayed actually in a module. This is assignment feature. So when the students click on it, then it just opens like this. I'm gonna briefly show it to you. I'm gonna stop sharing this one, and then we'll share the site to show what it looks like. Okay, the interface is just looks like when the students click on the link model from the Canvas, it opens this site. So it shows the the better interface. So it's not best option, but just like a brainstorming like this, and then submit it. Okay, and this objectives. And the visual presentation is pretty good, and also this course in particular very heavy content. So if just even using Camtasia or live lecture, it's too much. It's a cognitive load is very heavy. So that's why it's just the students can have more time, a little bit relaxed way. If we just present it this way, they can reflect, and whenever they have time. So all the different activities, even now, break time, take your time for 5-minute break, okay? And because it's a theory site, so the video displays, and then quizzes, knowledge check. This is pretty good. If you wanted to know more about this RISE options, please send me an email after this session. Then I will be happy to give additional information about this. Last, I'm gonna share back with the file. Oh, sorry, cancel. Okay, I'm gonna share back the. Okay, so that was the RISE interface. So feel free to send me an email if you know more about this application, but it's not a basic tool for Canvas. There's always a downside of it. It's not cheap. Okay, now Bosong will introduce about the face-to-face activities transformed in online.
Okay, this is Fosong. If you can hear me clearly, could you show me your happy face? Thank you. So I'm going to share three cases. One is actually a distance courses from the last term, winter term 2, and the rest two cases are going to be offered soon in summer term 1. I forgot to share my face. Uh, I'm going to share my face uh, to have some my teaching, not teaching, my presence. Thank you. So the first case is nursing leadership course. I picked this course because this course can be a great example of showing how small group activity can be facilitated online. So this is a grade level nurse course. So students are nurse professionals. The design point of this course is that the instructor wanted to provide nurse professionals with an opportunity to share and collaborate within small group space, and also have this small group to share what they have discussed beyond their groups. To support this small group activity, we created several discussion spaces, and there were two scheduled guest lecture sessions. So first, online discussions. Uh, these are some design strategy or instructional strategies that we implemented and that made these discussion activities, small group activities, successful. So from the beginning, there were clear instructions about what to do and when to do. Remember that the small group student, they were supposed to share what they have discussed beyond their small group. So the instructor made each student to be a group leader, taking turn, and was very clear about the role of the student group leader and group members. So each student group leader opened the discussion with a very thoughtful answer to the discussion topic and facilitate the discussion by commenting to group members' posting. And at the end, they summarize the discussion and post the summary to the whole group, weekly summary discussion. The instructor also discussed how their work, depending on their role, either like a group leader or a group member, will be graded. So in terms of the module design, we added discussion space to modules following discussion schedule, so students can easily know what to do after certain activities. And the discussion topic itself was very suitable for online group discussions. The group discussions. What I mean is that in face-to-face, instructors often use like simple type questions to check student feedback or to bring their attention back to the lecture. It's working well. It can be used for think, pair, share type activity or even small group activity in face-to-face class. Such a simple answer type question might not be really ideal for online discussions because if one student answer the question correctly, the rest of the student cannot do much. Then what type of questions are suitable for online discussions? Problem-based question or case-based question, where they can bring multiple perspectives, brainstorm together, and working for the solution, or controversial topic where they can make some argument and then back up their argument with relevant evidences. Those question or the discussion topic will be suitable for most of online discussions. And this entire small group discussion activity was worth about 20% to the final grade. So it's quite a lot. And the instructor modeled good discussion behavior to make the discussion activity more suitable. So these are the discussion questions that the probing question that the instructor used to facilitate the conversation to differ understanding. some of you may not have used online discussions at all, then you can go to like ART remote teaching demo site and then self-enroll yourself to the site. And then we provide some of the template and examples to the demo site. We are going to share this slide, so you don't need to write down this address right now. So my next example, as for the sessions, I mentioned that there were 2 scheduled guest lectures. So to make these asynchronous sessions working well, the instructor had some orientation session with me. So if you are going to have synchronous session using Ultra or Zoom, I recommend that, yes, we are going to send this PPT. So if you are going to use this asynchronous session, that please have some partner, like with your colleague, you can have some practice session to learn about. You can use the poll tool, and there are several ways that you can share your like PowerPoint or your application. As a moderator and presenter, you and guest lecturer must be very comfortable doing that. And to make this synchronous session with the guest lecturer meaningful, the instructor asked the student group to come up with questions to the lecturer, and they shared those questions with the guest lecturer. And and we also provide the student guide ahead of time, so students can set their audio and everything perfect to participate in the session. Beyond this guest lecture, the use of the synchronous session for guest lecture, there are other ways that you can use a synchronous session for student presentation or office hour. You may create some group space so that the student group can work synchronously together. So my next example is an intensive language course. This course will be offered soon in summer term 1. This course is about an introduction to the grammar, syntax of modern spoken and written Korean. So let me share the course schedule. So as you can see, it's very intense course. The students are supposed to meet 4 times per week, and like about 4 to 4.5 hours per each day. So, and when it was delivered face to face, the instructor used like a PowerPoint slide to provide lecture and Q&A session. And she mentioned that it's quite interesting session because she made like think, pair, share, or small group activities so the student can learn from each other. So when I met with her, she asked me whether it is possible to have 4-hour synchronous sessions, and was wondering whether it's unfair to students who are taking this course from completely different time zone. So apparently, she has many students from taking this course from Asia region. For example, when it is 9 a.m. in Vancouver, it will be midnight in Beijing. So it will be really challenging, simply really challenging for a student to attend a synchronous meeting that is like 4 hours long. So yes, it's unfair. Then she discussed her experience when she was asked to move her face-to-face course, winter course, online. At the time, she recorded like a 1 hour long lecture and posted that video to Canvas Space. She said that it was really time consuming, and then she was really wondering whether she's really engaging with the video, and so whether it's really effective for learning per se. And she really missed the interactive component within her previous lecture setting. So this is what we have discussed so far. I asked her to go back to her lecture note, PowerPoint, and determine what are the essential concepts that she really wants to keep. And identify what content can be delivered successfully in a static format with some elaborated notes. And then what are the content that she thinks she must create video clip. And this time, instead of creating 1 hour long lecture video, I asked her to create short video clips. It's better to create short video clip, thinking about considering student attention span, and also considering her preparation time. It's much easier to read and navigate the short video clips. As for student engagement with short video clips, these are the three methods I shared with the instructor. The first, verbal instructions. So when she creates a video, she can simply provide verbal instruction like turn to page X in your textbook and write down your answer on question 9 and bring those answers to the synchronous session. So this will be the simplest version. Or if she wants to make this video as a method for formative assessment, she can think about embedding multiple choice question into a video using Cultura. So Cultura is integrated video platform into Canvas platform. Since this presentation is not about how to, later you can self-enroll to this Cultura 101 class and learn more about how you can add video clips to your video to make it more interactive. The last method, if the instructor wants to make it as graded activity, the instructor can also add a video to either assignment or quiz description and ask the student to watch this video before they do certain assignment and then take a quiz. Are you following me so far? It's okay. Any questions? Okay, great. So as for synchronous session, she will rethink about the purpose of the synchronous session. She can do some synchronous session to provide the student orientation about the course, and instead of using the synchronous session for lecture, she can use it for like interactive session with a group. So she can assign students into small groups based on their time zone information and maybe have like a 30-minute interactive session with each group. Since she has 26 students, if she has 4 groups, it is approximately 2 hours. Such a 30-minute can be used for check-in and student Q&A, and she can also provide immediate feedback. Since it's a small group session, you can also make it more interactive. Besides this small group, like a virtual meeting with each group, she can also create a space for a virtual study group, study room. So it will be just for student gathering. Student can interact with their group members and then provide some feedback to each other's work. And then it can be the start of nurturing a community of learning in her class. So my last example is from social work department. I actually met this instructor last Friday and is currently helping her to redesign her course. So this course is a directed study course, and she confirmed that most of her, not most, all of her students are from same time zone. It was confirmed by the program, and it is a schedule like a Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 12 p.m. And she was thinking about having the synchronous session like on Tuesday and Thursday for 3 hours. And she was wondering, it can be challenging. So she was wondering what can be done asynchronously and then what part she must keep in a synchronous meeting. So Estella, you asked, can you use a synchronous session via Collaborate Ultra? Yes, synchronous session can be done through Collaborate Ultra, and then it can be recorded for a student who was not able to join the session on time. So for this is what we have discussed so far. So in her original plan, these are the main components that she's going to cover. So opening circle and reading discussion. If it was when it was delivered like in class, sometimes the students will watch movie together and then share their feedback. And then from time to time, there will be guest speaker. And starting from week 5, two student presenter will do oral presentation and Q&A session. So each student will have like 30 minutes and all together will be 1 hour. So this is what we are thinking about right now. So we moved this watching movie portion to online and then student oral presentation to online space. So let me share the details. Here is the detail, and then this is copied from her module page. This is how we share what's happening synchronously, and this is the section what's happening asynchronously to inform students about different delivery mode. So first, this is the watch movie discussion, and this is for student oral presentation. Let me discuss this first. Uh, we provide a link to the movie that students must watch. And then here's the link where they can submit a thoughtful reflection after watching the movie. Uh, it, we are using the assignment feature for the reflection piece. And previously, it wasn't part of her participation or attendance grade. It was not really explicitly described that she will consider uh, student reflection into the grade, but since we moved this portion to online, she added the description that this reflection will be part of the participation and attendance grade, which is 20% of this class. And this is for student oral presentation. The schedule is that starting from session 5, there will be 2 student presenters until session 12. In that way, she can cover 16 student presenters. And student presenters are asked to record and post their oral presentation to the corresponding discussion space along with the 3 discussion questions. So this is how they can start the discussion with the rest of the student. The rest of the students are asked to watch both video and comment on just one the discussion thread. And this also becomes part of participation and attendance grade. Do you have any questions so far? Yeah.
There was some question and request about any other sessions, but that's not our area, creating a workshop offering this kind of session. But their question is about what kind of activities and the design will be good for a larger class. So because the examples that so far we have showing is a little bit small and medium size. So with larger than 100 students. So you have any those kind of experience with redesigning those courses?
Yeah. There's one course I helped this term, and then it's also a nursing course. It has about 100 students. So the instructor grouped the student into small group. So because the suggestion that we can make is very course specific. So if you want some further like consultation, then you can sign up our drop-in session, then we are happy to discuss some options considering your own context. So next, Helen will discuss an
Yeah, just
example.
Estella, sorry, but we have another presenter highline is here. So once we just finish this session, you may have opportunity to ask that question. We just wanted to finish it first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? So I'm going to just share one example, try to take a look of how to redesign the learning activities and assessment overall for a course, all right? So this course is from forestry. This is the topic of the course is the forest ecosystem service course. This is a course aimed to like upgrade the current 300 level course to a course that is targeting upper undergrads and the grad level course. So the course focus on try to understand the effects of dynamics of different forest ecosystem services, and eventually would like students to write a forest management plan in the end. So it's targeting to making the course available for both UBC students and forestry practitioners in partner universities. So the design expectation for this course, because forestry courses are usually pretty hands-on, a lot of field trip, those kind of thing, and so what they expect to do is, okay, try to make the course as a case study type of a course, field case study for future foresters and the practitioners, train the student to be the future foresters and practitioners. And so they would like to share the local field case study, definitely. And also they would like to help students to think critically, try to design their, the forestry management plan. So along the way, how to scaffold the active inquiry process along the way. And another thing, definitely, they would want to incorporate some immersive learning type of thing, right, at the distance, because for instance, like in the field, how to build bring those experience to student at a distance. And definitely they want a peer learning experience. So the UBC students could learn from the participants like forest practitioners, I mean, along the way while they are learning. So how to tackle all these design perspectives? So here, eventually, the course come up with the solution, like the graph showed over here. So for for sharing local cases, so the course came up with two major assignments, two case analysis assignments. And also there are two challenges cases. Okay, these two challenges cases is used as a prompt for weekly online discussions. And these weekly online discussions is kind of aimed to help the student to complete their two case analysis assignments. So to scaffold, helps providing the scaffolding for the inquiry process. The course came up with a double cycled structure of inquiry process. So that is also what is so-called star legacy inquiry process for discussion. So the process goes for 7 steps. So each step is going to run for a week for a weekly discussion. For instance, when the first challenge is provided for students, the first week, let students generate some ideas for that specific challenge, how to deal with that. And then the next week, give them some more perspective of the challenge and let students discuss how to incorporate those different perspectives in their solution. And based on the different perspectives, the next week, the students asked to do some research, and based on their research, and then they revise their solution. And the next week is a test of method. This step basically is about it's the peer assessment step, actually. So basically the prof is providing the rubric for the challenge question, and then a student is going to use that rubric to provide feedback for each others posting. So in that sense, they get some feedback from their peers. And then based on that, the next week they will revise whatever they had so far, and then publish their final response to the challenge question. Right? And there is still another week. The week number 7 is for them to finish their assignment. For instance, the first cycle is targeting for the first assignment. So the 7th week, then the students follow this process and then try to finish their first assignment. And then the second cycle started with another prompt of a challenge, and then the same cycle goes again, and then on week 14, students finish their the second assignment. Okay, so this is how they help students. Okay, we come up together, have this solution, the double cycle inquiry process to help students to finish their assignments. And another thing worth to mention is that, okay, for their challenges, the 2 challenges as well as the 2 case analysis assignments, the first is at a conceptual level, so more easier. The second one is more complex. So they went for a first cycle on a more easier task, and then the second cycle tackling more complex situation. This is how the double cycle worked. Another thing is, okay, for these 2 challenges, as I mentioned, the profs would like to have some immersive learning experience, right? So actually these 2 challenges prompts, then eventually came up with a solution, made it as a 3D 360-degree the video. So basically go to the fields and then on a specific site and for that specific case, and make the video. Use that as a prompt for the discussions. All right. So take another look here. So this is their assessment components. Okay, the course assessment component. You could see that on top of the discussions and assignments I mentioned, there's some online self-tests for fundamental concepts. So that is on weekly basis as well. So basically each week covered some fundamental concepts, and then that is out of their PowerPoint. Some PowerPoint is a kind of shoot in the field as well, with the background in the field. So for those fundamental concepts, and then self-test quizzes is embedded in there, so students learn by themselves for those fundamental concepts. And then they engage in weekly online discussion, and you could see the first assignment is more conceptual. The second one is more complex situation. This course also has a final exam, definitely, right? This final exam, what is I would like to share is that it has two components. One is a written part, definitely, right? Multiple choice, open-ended questions, those kinds of things. And then it also, on top of that, add a oral components on that. So because the overall course is based on kind of sharing the local cases, right? So for their assignments, they come up with the management plan for their local cases. So for that part, they came up with this case interview part. So the instructors managed to schedule the web conferencing, like what we are doing here, the sessions for each individual, and then try to answer some questions about their case. So in that sense, that it counts for some part of their final exam. Right, so definitely for each of these activities, there is a rubric. Okay, one online discussion rubric and assignment rubric. Because of the timing thing, I might not want to go to the site directly to show you those rubrics, but we are going to share this PowerPoint with you later on, and then you could see, okay, well, how the grading rubrics is going to help to ensure both the engagement as well as the quality of their posting. The response to the assignments. So this example basically is helping you especially if you are thinking, for instance, for the September, for the next year, January offering, try to start thinking about redesign your courses. Then this is a good example to help you to think how an online course could be designed or could be designed, so make it more engaging. Many of the considerations when you design the online courses, it's like how much is too much, how less is too less, right? For instance, if you're thinking about virtual reality videos, those kind of thing, right? So how much is too much, right? It's also in considerations is related to the cost, right? So and the timing and the time you could commit to make eventually to beat the deadline to make your course available for your students for the next offering. So a lot of thoughts in there. So this is as a prompt for you to think a little bit ahead of time, and maybe put more thoughtful thoughts in your redesign. And definitely we as instructor designers, also learning designers, we are ready here to help you if you would like us to help in any sense. Okay, with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Namsuk, probably close up the workshop for more questions. We could stay here for a little long time for your question. Namsuk, we cannot hear you. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, I muted microphone. It happens, right? When we do the this kind of a synchronous lecture, and then also I thank you everyone being patient today, because it's very content based, we didn't include you, engage you in the way we supposed to do, because we have 3 presenters and wanted to showcase some examples. So when you design your own lecture, it's not a very good example that we did today. You wanted to do more interactive activity, or give a chance to your participant to ask the question. So since we have 5 minutes, do you have any question? This is the chance for you to open your mic and then ask the question. Raise your hand, please. Just so far, so good?
Namsu, it
Yep.
asked when you create like the content using RISE Articulate 360, can you move that content easily to another platform?
What do you mean? The another platform is a Moodle or Canvas or some other learning management system? Yes. You can just export those content and then upload the learning management system. It works pretty well. I actually helped the other course, the off-campus UBC. It's not a UBC course, but the professional development course, which has requires a lot of visual images, and then more interactive without instructor involvement. In that case, the RISE pretty worked fine. Okay, there's a Estella. Do you want to ask a question? Open your mic to unclick, to activate your mic, and then, yeah.
Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I've heard a lot. You have synchronous, non-synchronous, asynchronous, and I just wonder how they could be used like together, because I am modifying my syllabus. I used to have everything on Canvas, right? The modules. And I'm thinking of keeping the modules and still using the discussion board, but also the collaborator outro. So I just don't know how should we focus, or we could use actually everything. So whenever it's appropriate.
Yeah, right. That's what I just use the metaphor within the moving, when you think about what could be the most effective way of presenting and then giving the package to the students. If you think this must be a live session, then you need to do a collaborator forum and then or Zoom lecture. Otherwise, if you think, okay, maybe this lecture is not necessarily very interactive and engaging students, then maybe I can upload this lecture to the Cultura, and then use the live session for more office hour to update and then chat with the student and then facilitate some of the group activities, something like that. You need to balance, to show your presence, and then in that way you need to think about what kind of activity should be online and real time, and what kind of activity should be more effective when they have more time, their own in reflecting hours or something like that. Make sense?
Very much.
Yeah.
If I add just one more, if you're thinking about using both synchronous and asynchronous learning in your course, just be clear about those different activities so students will not miss each other.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it's about the time. So there's a lot of channels open for you to get some help. It's this Thursday we are offering learning design one-on-one consultation, because the courses are all different. The factors and the features is a very course specific, and originality. It's difficult to adopt some other examples. bring your course and then ask your questions, and hopefully we can offer some useful suggestion and recommendation to you. Okay. Thank you very much all. After this session, you will get an email with this PowerPoint information, and then maybe recorded a link. And if you think your colleagues and then your faculty members and TAs need this session will be useful, then please recommend it. Thank you very much. We'll offer the last session with this topic next Tuesday at the same time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.